The wind howled through the cemetery, carrying with it the scent of damp earth and decay. Tom sat trembling on the edge of Susan Kitty's grave, the weight of her spectral gaze pressing down on him. Her voice, cold and sharp, pierced the silence. "You're late," she said. "I can't do this anymore," Tom whispered, his voice breaking. "It's killing me." "You made a deal," she snapped. 5 years ago. You have no one to blame but yourself." Tom's mind spiraled back to that fateful night. He had been patrolling the cemetery, bored and indifferent. Back then, he didn't care about respecting graves, it was just a job, and a miserable one at that. When the urge struck, he chose convenience over decency, urinating on a nearby headstone without a second thought. The ground had shaken violently, and an unearthly wail shattered the night. Chi's spirit emerged, her form both beautiful and terrifying. "You dare desecrate my resting place," she bellowed. Tom had tried to run, but her power held him rooted to the spot. "You've insulted me in death," she hissed. "For that, you will pay. Every other second day, you will give yourself to me, or I'll ensure your death is slow and merciless." Now, 5 years later, Tom was a shell of the man he once was. The endless cycle of her demands had sapped his strength and spirit, leaving him exhausted and desperate for escape. Tom spent his mornings in restless sleep, recovering from the nights Chi claimed him. The cemetery owner, noticing his decline, was concerned but unwilling to replace him. Nobody else wanted the job. One morning, after another torment-filled night, Tom decided he'd had enough. Opening the cemetery's records, he searched for a name, Chi Kitty. His shaking fingers dialed the number listed under her family's contacts. No one answered. He tried again. And again. The following day, his phone rang, it was the same number. "Hello," Tom said. "Who is this?" the man's voice demanded. "My name is Tom," he said cautiously. "I'm the caretaker at the cemetery. I need to speak with you about your late mother." "I don't want anything to do with her," the man snapped. "Please, it's important," Tom pleaded. "There's something happening at her grave." Reluctantly, the man agreed to meet. The man, Tucker, met Tom at his office, a sleek space adorned with expensive decor. On the wall hung a portrait of a stern-looking man, presumably Tucker's father. "You don't have a photo of your mother?" Tom asked, breaking the silence. "I told you, I want nothing to do with that woman," Tucker said coldly. "Why are you here?" Tom hesitated, then said, "I need your help. Strange things have been happening at your mother's grave. Please, can you tell me what she was like when she was alive?" Tucker's jaw tightened, his gaze hardening. "She was difficult. She destroyed my father and me with her appetites. I was her first victim." Tom froze. "What do you mean?" Tucker's voice broke as he confessed, "After she cheated on my father, I wanted to punish her. I was young, angry, and stupid. I thought I was teaching her a lesson, but I unleashed something inside her. That appetite grew. She tormented me in ways I can't even describe." His voice cracked, tears streaming down his face. "Since then, I've never been able to settle with a woman. I destroyed my own life." Tom, though horrified, placed a hand on Tucker's shoulder. "You know, this doesn't make sense. In our culture, a son doesn't discipline his mother. She's not just your parent, she's a spiritual figure. What you did is why neither of you has peace. What can I do?" Tucker asked, desperation in his voice. "There's a way," Tom said. "It's a cultural tradition where you ask for your mother's forgiveness, publicly. You admit your wrongs, pay a fine, and restore balance." A week later, Tucker and Tom stood together at Chi's grave. Elders from the community surrounded them, leading the ritual. Tucker knelt and confessed his sins against his mother, asking for her forgiveness and vowing to honor her memory. Tom, too, admitted his disrespect for the dead, apologizing for desecrating Chi's resting place. As the ritual concluded, a palpable shift occurred in the cemetery. The oppressive energy lifted, and the air felt lighter. Chi's grave seemed at peace for the first time in years. From that day forward, Tom and Tucker carried the lessons they had learned. Tucker began to rebuild his life, seeking forgiveness and healing from those he had hurt. Tom, freed from Chi's torment, dedicated himself to respecting the graves he tended. The Shona proverb, "Your mother is not your relative," became a guiding principle for them both. It served as a reminder of the sacred bond between a mother and her child and the importance of respecting the living and the dead.